Welcome to this explainer. Look, today we're tackling a mystery that has quite literally puzzled people for generations. You know the feeling, right? You're out on a date, or maybe you're just chatting with someone you've had your eye on for a while, and you are desperately searching for a sign that they're actually into you. But here is the fascinating truth we're going to unpack today. Most guys are completely misreading the room, like entirely. They're looking for all the wrong signals of attraction, and because of that, they're completely missing the right ones. So we're going to break down the psychology behind human connection today, and we're going to do it by focusing on exactly what's happening right in front of your face.
She said nothing, but her body told you everything. I mean, really think about that for a second. We rely so heavily on words, don't we? We just sit around waiting for a verbal confirmation, a super direct compliment, or, some obvious flirtation. But human communication, especially when we're talking about attraction, is overwhelmingly non-verbal. And there's this massive hidden cost to not knowing these unspoken behaviors. I mean, think about how many genuine connections have probably slipped through the cracks simply because the signals were being broadcast on a frequency you just weren't tuned into. Well, today, we're tuning the dial.
Okay, let's dive into this. There's this huge difference between loud attraction and silent attraction. Loud attraction is basically the Hollywood version of dating. It's obvious. It's overt. You've got the bold compliments, the exaggerated laughter, the direct physical touch. It's what most guys assume attraction is supposed to look like. But then we have what the science actually reveals, which is silent attraction. These are subconscious, deeply psychological behaviors. They're subtle, they're quiet, and honestly, they're incredibly powerful because they are totally unfiltered by conscious thought. If you're only looking for the loud stuff, you are entirely missing the profound reality of the silent. Let's move to our first major concept and see how this all builds.
Section 1. Subconscious copying. Specifically, a concept known as mirroring.
Okay, picture this. You're sitting at a really cozy cafe on a date. The ambient noise is humming in the background, your coffees are sitting on the table, and you two are just locked in conversation. I want you to watch for this exact real-time sequence of physical mimicry. Step 1. You lean in closer across that tiny table to make a point. Step 2. Almost immediately, she leans in too. Step 3. You shift your weight, reach out, and pick up your drink. Step 4, literally a second later, she reaches out and picks up her drink. This isn't some choreographed dance, but it almost looks like one, right? It's a really subtle, physical echo of your exact movements, happening right there in the middle of a totally casual chat. And this brilliantly illustrates the psychological concept of mirroring. This happens when the brain subconsciously copies the posture or actions of someone else. Psychologists recognize this as one of the absolutely strongest nonverbal signals of attraction that exists. Now, here is the real secret to why this matters so much. She's not doing this on purpose. She didn't consciously plan to pick up her coffee cup just because you did. Actually, her brain is automatically trying to build rapport and establish a deep connection with you. The fact that it's completely unintentional is exactly what makes the signal so authentic and honestly, so real.
All right, let's move to our next section, remembering details, which is driven by a phenomenon called selective attention. So imagine you're just having a super casual conversation in the hallway at work, or maybe at a group dinner. You mention a tiny, seemingly insignificant detail about your life. Let's say you casually drop your dog's name in passing. That was 3 weeks ago. Now cut to today, and out of absolutely nowhere, she asks how your dog is doing and actually uses the dog's name. When something like this happens, guys, this is not an accident. If she brings up little details from weeks ago that you actually forgot you even told her, she is highly interested. She's paying remarkably close attention to your words.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the hard science behind why it happens. It all comes down to selective attention. This is the psychological process where the brain prioritizes information about someone you are attracted to. I mean, think about the sheer volume of data, text messages, emails, and random conversations a person processes every single day. Most of it just gets dumped from our short-term memory instantly. But her brain took that tiny detail about your dog, flagged it as highly important, and locked it into her long-term memory. Why? Because the psychological mechanism of attraction demands it. It proves that you matter enough to her for her brain to actively organize and protect data related to you. It's a real game changer when you realize that.
Bringing us to our final core concept, Section 3, closing the distance, known in psychology as proximity seeking.
Ask yourself this: why do certain coincidences just seem to keep happening when someone is interested in you? Think about it. She doesn't have to sit next to you in a group setting, but she consistently chooses to. She finds completely random excuses to text you about a meme or a song, or she just happens to show up in the break room or at a social event right when you're there. Listen, if she keeps constantly closing the physical or digital distance between you two, she is sending a very, very clear message. Spoiler alert, these are not happy accidents.
This is entirely driven by proximity seeking. It's the instinctive human drive to physically move toward what we are naturally drawn to. But we really need to anchor this clinical term to those mundane, everyday moments we just discussed. When a woman likes you, the logic of, well, I don't really need to go to the break room right now, is completely overridden by the biological instinct of, he is in the break room, therefore I will go to the break room. It's a fundamental primitive drive. Humans naturally gravitate toward warmth, toward comfort, and toward the people they're attracted to. Instinct completely overrides logic here.
So let's bring this all together under our final section, what to look for and the final takeaways.
So, the crucial point is that you now have a psychological roadmap. You don't have to sit around guessing if someone likes you, waiting for some giant neon sign to flash above their head. You can apply these 3 psychological insights, mirroring, selective attention, and proximity seeking, into your everyday life, literally starting today. Watch their body language, listen to the specific details they recall, and notice where they physically place themselves in a room. Attraction isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a glance, a memory, a step closer. How incredibly powerful is that? You are now fully empowered with the exact knowledge of what silent signals to look out for. You are no longer in the dark. The unspoken language of human connection is happening all around you every single day, and now you've got the dictionary to translate it. So I'm going to leave you with this question. Which signs surprised you the most? Was it the subconscious physical mirroring at the cafe? Was it the incredible memory recall of selective attention? Or maybe the irresistible instinct of proximity seeking? I really want you to reflect on your own past interactions. How many of these silent signals have you missed over the years? Drop into the comments below and tell me which of these psychological facts completely blew your mind. And hey, if this explainer opened your eyes to how humans actually communicate, make sure to subscribe. We'll be bringing you a lot more psychology that decodes human behavior, helping you truly understand the people around you. Thanks for learning with me today.